Your friends are sitting around, sharing childhood memories. Someone's talking about their 8th birthday party. Another person is laughing about the time they got lost at the mall. Everyone's got stories. Everyone's contributing, except you. You're sitting there, smiling, nodding. But inside, you're panicking, because when you try to reach back into your childhood, there's almost nothing there, just fragments, shadows, a few scattered images that don't connect into a coherent story. Your friends can remember 10, 15, even 20 years of their lives with clarity. You struggle to piece together 10 clear memories, and you've spent years thinking something is wrong with you, that your brain is broken, that you're losing your mind. But here's the truth. Your brain isn't broken, it was protecting you. This is the psychology of dissociative amnesia and why some childhoods simply disappear. Let me describe what this experience is really like and see if any of this sounds familiar. When people ask about your childhood, you go completely blank. Not because you're not trying to remember, but because there's genuinely nothing. You remember facts. I went to this school. I had a dog named Max. My room was blue, but you don't remember the feelings, the experiences, the actual life of it. It's like watching a movie with most of the scenes cut out. You know the plot happened, you can see the beginning and the end, but you can't actually watch it. And here's what makes it even worse. Everyone else seems to remember effortlessly. Your siblings recall the same childhood in vivid detail. Your parents tell stories about things you supposedly did, trips you went on, things you said, moments you shared, and you have absolutely zero memory of any of it. Remember when you did this? No. Remember that vacation we took? No. Remember your best friend from elementary school? No. You start wondering, am I developing dementia? Did I hit my head too many times? Is there something neurologically wrong with me? The answer is usually simpler and much more painful. Your brain had to make a choice: carry the weight of overwhelming pain every single day, or let some of it go. It chose survival. It chose to forget. And today, I'm going to explain exactly why this happens, what it means, and the 6 signs that your memory gaps aren't random. They're protective. So let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain. Your memory system has 3 basic jobs. First, it encodes experiences. Basically, it records what's happening to you. Second, it stores those experiences somewhere in your neural networks. Third, it retrieves them later when you need to remember. In a safe, stable childhood, this system works smoothly. You encode happy birthday parties, you store them, and years later, you retrieve them as warm, nostalgic memories. But in an unsafe childhood, this system doesn't just malfunction, it intentionally shuts down. Not because something's wrong with your brain, but because recording everything would have destroyed you. This is called dissociative amnesia, when your brain actively blocks traumatic or overwhelming memories from being fully stored or retrieved. Think of it like a camera with a built-in safety feature. When it detects that recording certain footage will damage the hardware, it stops recording, not because it's broken, but because not recording is the only way to survive. Here's what happens in a child's developing brain during chronic stress, abuse, neglect, or emotional overwhelm. The brain faces an impossible problem. How do you keep experiencing a reality that's too painful to fully process? The answer, you don't. You either dissociate during the experience, mentally leaving your body, or you dissociate after the experience by suppressing the memory, sometimes both. And over time, this becomes automatic. Your brain learns, when things get overwhelming, we don't record, we protect. Years later, you're left with a childhood that feels like a foreign country you visited once, but can barely recall. Before we continue, if this video is already making you feel seen, if you're realizing for the first time that your memory gaps aren't your fault, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I make videos exploring emotional numbness, trauma, dissociation, and the hidden patterns of the mind. This is a space for people who feel too much or feel nothing at all. If that's you, you're in the right place. All right, let's get into the 6 specific signs that your memory loss is trauma-related, not medical. Sign number 1, your entire childhood feels foggy, dreamlike, or unreal. You don't just have gaps in your memory, your entire childhood feels like it happened to someone else. When you look at old photos, you recognize your face, but you don't feel any connection to that person. It's like looking at a stranger. When family members tell stories about you, it feels like they're talking about a character in a movie, not you. This isn't normal forgetfulness. This is depersonalization, a dissociative symptom where you feel disconnected from your own past self. It happens because during overwhelming experiences, your brain creates distance between you and what's happening to you. It's a coping mechanism. If the pain is unbearable, your brain says, "This isn't happening to me. This is happening to that person over there." And when you do that consistently throughout childhood, you end up with a past that doesn't feel like yours. You remember existing, but you don't remember being. If your childhood feels less like a memory and more like a half-forgotten dream, that's sign number 1. Sign number 2, you can recall facts, but you feel absolutely nothing. You know things happened. You can list events like reading from a textbook. I had a birthday party when I was 7. My parents got divorced when I was 10. I played soccer in middle school. But when you say these things out loud, there's no emotional charge, no warmth, no sadness, no nostalgia, nothing. This is called emotional amnesia, when your brain allows you to remember the facts, but completely blocks access to the feelings tied to those facts. Why? Because the emotions were the dangerous part. Maybe remembering that birthday party means remembering how alone you felt even though people were there. Maybe remembering the divorce means remembering the fights, the fear, the instability. Maybe remembering soccer means remembering the pressure, the criticism, the sense that nothing you did was ever good enough. So your brain strikes a deal. You can remember that it happened, but you cannot feel what it felt like. This is why some people can casually mention horrific childhood events without flinching, not because they're cold, but because their brain severed the emotional connection to protect them. If you can talk about your childhood like you're reading someone else's biography, that's sign number 2. Sign number 3, you remember fragments. Colors, sounds, smells, but no context. You'll be going about your day, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you'll get a flash, a dark hallway, the sound of a door slamming, the smell of cigarette smoke, a feeling of dread in your chest, but you can't place it. You don't know when it happened, where you were, or what was going on. These are called trauma fragments. Pieces of memory that were encoded during high-stress moments, but never fully processed into a coherent narrative. If you have these fragmented flashes, sensory memories with no context, that's sign number 3. Sign number 4, you have physical reactions to things you can't consciously remember. Maybe you tense up when someone raises their voice, even if they're not yelling at you. Maybe you feel panic when you hear footsteps in the hallway at night, but you don't know why. Maybe certain smells, sounds, or types of touch make your skin crawl, and you can't explain it. This is because your body keeps the score. Even when your conscious mind has locked away a memory, your nervous system still holds the imprint. Your body remembers the fear, the helplessness, the threat. So when something in your present environment resembles something from your past, even if you can't consciously recall the past event, your body reacts as if the danger is happening right now. This is why people with childhood trauma often seem overreactive or too sensitive. They're not overreacting to the present. They're reacting to a past their mind has forgotten, but their body hasn't. If you find yourself having panic attacks, anxiety, or intense physical discomfort in situations that don't seem dangerous, but you can't remember why you feel that way, that's sign number 4. Sign number 5, you describe your childhood as fine or normal, but you have zero specific memories to back it up. When people ask about your childhood, you say, "It was fine, pretty normal," but when they ask for details, stories, moments, experiences, you come up empty. You tell yourself it was fine because that's easier than admitting you don't actually remember. Or, on the flip side, you remember your childhood as perfect, but again, you can't actually recall what made it perfect. This is called idealization, and it's another defense mechanism. If you can't access the painful memories, your brain fills in the gaps with a story that makes sense. It must have been fine. I turned out okay, right? But the lack of detail is the red flag. People with safe, happy childhoods have stories. They remember specific moments. They can tell you about the time they scraped their knee and their mom patched them up, the time their dad taught them to ride a bike, the time they laughed so hard at dinner that milk came out their nose. If your childhood memory is just a vague sense of it was fine with no actual substance, that vagueness is your brain's way of saying, I don't want to look too closely at this. If you describe your childhood in generalities, but can't recall specifics, that's sign number 5. Sign number 6, your memories suddenly turn on at a specific age, and everything before that is blank. Some people can't remember anything before age 8, or 12, or 15, and then suddenly their memory becomes clear and consistent. This often happens when something in your environment changed. Maybe that's when you moved out, when a toxic family member left, when you went to college. When you finally felt safe, your brain essentially said, okay, the threat is over. We can start recording again. But everything that happened before that point, it's locked away. This is your brain drawing a clear line between survival mode and safe mode. And it's also why some people don't realize they experienced trauma until much later, because they only started living consciously once the trauma ended. If your memory has a clear before and after, where everything before a certain age is dark and everything after is vivid, that's sign number 6. So now you know the signs. Now you understand why your brain made this choice. But what do you do with this information? First, stop blaming yourself. For years, you've probably thought something was wrong with you, that you're forgetful, that you're broken, that you should just get over it. None of that is true. Your memory gaps aren't a flaw. They're evidence of survival. Your brain did exactly what it needed to do to keep you functional during an unbearable time. Second, you don't have to force yourself to remember. Some people think healing means recovering every lost memory. It doesn't. In fact, trying to force memories to surface can be re-traumatizing. Healing isn't about remembering everything. It's about understanding why you forgot and giving yourself permission to grieve the childhood you can't access. Third, you can heal without remembering. You don't need a detailed map of your past to move forward. You can work with what you do know, the patterns, the emotional responses, the ways trauma shows up in your adult life. Therapy, especially trauma-informed therapy, can help you process what your body remembers, even if your mind doesn't. And fourth, you're not alone. Millions of people walk around with childhoods they can't remember. You're not weird. You're not broken. You're not the only one. And the more we talk about this, the more we normalize it, the less people have to suffer in silence, wondering what's wrong with them. If you related to 3 or more of these signs, your memory gaps are likely protective, not pathological. Your brain didn't fail you, it saved you. And now, as an adult, you get to decide what comes next. You can seek support, you can explore therapy, you can connect with others who understand. You can start learning the language of your own nervous system and finally make sense of reactions you once judged yourself for. Healing doesn't mean forcing memories to come back. It doesn't mean reliving everything or proving what happened. Healing can be as simple and as powerful as learning to feel safe in your body again. It's about building a present that no longer feels like a constant threat. But most importantly, you can stop carrying the shame of not remembering. The silence in your memory was never a flaw. It was a survival strategy. Your mind chose protection over clarity because that's what you needed at the time. You survived something your brain decided was too much to carry. That's not weakness. That's resilience. That's intelligence. That's your nervous system doing its job the best way it knew how. If this video helped you feel seen, please leave a comment below. Let me know which sign resonated most with you. You don't have to share details, but I want you to know you're not alone. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. This is where we talk about the things most people are too afraid to say out loud. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from all of this, it's this. You don't need to have perfect memories to have a valid story. Your pain doesn't become real only when you can explain it. Your experiences don't need proof to matter. The gaps in your memory are not empty spaces. They're places where your mind chose to protect you when you had no other choice. That protection may feel confusing now, but it kept you alive long enough to reach this moment. Healing doesn't mean forcing doors open that your brain closed for survival. It means creating safety now, in the present, so your nervous system can finally rest. It means being gentle with yourself in ways no one else was. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not weak for forgetting. You're here, and that alone tells a powerful story. Thank you for listening.